Came to us, it was very desperate, and in 10 sessions, we saw that the pain reduced by 70%, and then the color came back.
To comprehend that how a sound therapy can
Yes,
help them.
yes. Specific bowls work around that area, over that area.
In your experience, like you have given sound therapy to so many,
And he studied them under the electron microscope, and the
Namaskar.
blood flow to the baby was very less. And
Way back in our olden times also.
yes, our thought patterns also go down. So you're in a more restful, relaxed state. Your digestion improves. Narendra Modi mentioned this, and he.
Where people particularly see that it is very effective.
And then suddenly, after a while, the whole auditorium was quiet, including the children.
Namaskar and welcome to Warrior Voices with Sangita. Today we have with us a distinguished radiologist, Dr. Geeta Shah, who has been practicing for last 25 years. She has been helping people in medical imaging and diagnosis. But beyond medicine is her love for music. She joined her son to learn sound healing. Today, she uses sound therapy to help people. Let us get an insight into what sound healing is. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Geeta.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Dr. Geeta, after nearly 25 years of practicing medicine as a radiologist, how did you come about, into this sound healing?
I was always into music, and uh, this intrigued me when I just happened to browse on social media, Facebook, and I saw this post of sound healing and Tibetan singing bowls and for therapy. So, and my son was there who was very much into music, and I just told him that this is something very interesting. So, and it was in Pune. And so we both just decided, spur of the moment, let's just try it out. And my husband also said, yeah, why don't you go? And it happened to be the weekend, and we just drove down to Pune and attended this wonderful workshop. It really blew our mind that we could actually use. I mean, this was the first time I heard about vibrations and how it can affect and the effect it had on some people, and then there some of the experiences that people had, and they had an EEG. So being a medical person and to see that this was evidence based, and where they actually demonstrated how the waves, the brain waves, our normal activity brain wave is beta, where when we are active, and then when we are relaxed, it's alpha, and then theta, and when we are in deep sleep, it's delta. So an EEG records all this, and then we could actually see the waves changing from the beta to alpha to, so that was quite amazing, very, very intriguing. And I think I did have a spiritual background because my family, my mother's father's side had a lineage of gurus, and so was always also into all this and holistic. And as children, we've always taken Ayurvedic. My mother has always taken Ayurvedic, given us Ayurvedic medicine. So growing up integrated, both allopathic and Ayurvedic medicines. So always been quite open to it.
So basically, your love for music and spirituality and all these things, came together, and
Yes,
you started
that's right. And
practicing.
I
Yeah.
also started around that time. I was meditating. I was into Kriya Yoga practice. And so all that also. Plus, we had a lineage of gurus. So we had a guru mantra, which we were chanting. And then I got into Kriya Yoga, Paramahansa Yogananji's. So then heard about Mahavatar Babaji. And then, so basically all that was ingrained, especially the Om and the vibrations. And this was very expansive. You naturally became very meditative. with the bowls, with the vibrations, and because you went deep into your inner self. So not your small self, but your capital self, which is your source, and more inclusive, more I would say like infinite, and the boundaries
Infinite. The energy,
started to
yes.
energy, you
The-
started to lose the boundaries. And
Mm.
so even when we do group meditation sessions, people say that they went into a trance, and they so definitely it brings you into a different realm, and that is what is needed in meditations.
See, you do meditation as well as sound therapy as well as chakra.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, we do
you done-
guided
okay.
meditations and
You,
chakra
you
healing,
you do this
chakra
with your
alignment.
son, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, we do it together. He plays the flute, and then he plays the gongs also. He started doing it. He even did a like a program in ISKCON, where ISKCON was just, ISKCON is basically chanting and Krishna consciousness and all that. So in the auditorium, he did the he did like a guided meditation and the vibrations and all, and the whole auditorium, which was first filled with Sunday afternoon crowd of children going coming for free darshan, and coming because it was an AC hall. They were just coming and sitting, and there was so much chatter and children crying. And then suddenly, after a while, the whole auditorium was quiet, including the children. That was when I thought, my God, this is something else. We should really take it forward.
Yeah,
And so he started doing it, and I
you
then,
joined him.
uh,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that is
joined
what
him.
I was going to ask you. How do you manage to juggle your time between, your traditional
We
medicine and
do group. Yeah, it's been a gradual process. We did one group session, meditation, then doing it for family, friends, doing like a therapy protocol with whatever they're like doing it on my mother-in-law, my mother when they had, issues
actually,
increasing.
it's very difficult for people to comprehend that how a sound therapy can help
Yes,
them.
yes, 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 yes,
And
yes.
yeah,
So
so there are going to be skeptics, because I've never tried sound healing myself, but I do know in our scriptures it's written that the sound of Om helps you, and
yes, yes,
yeah, that I practice. And
yes.
so probably somewhere that connection is there, that sound does help. The mantras, they say,
Yes,
also have a very good effect on us.
mantras also. So
Yes,
yeah, I
yes,
was
yeah.
already, into all that mantra chanting, how it affects you.
Mhm.
And these are basically Om vibrations. These are just the hum. It's the vibration, which I don't know if you've ever heard bowl. I have one here. I don't know if we can get like a good. So this is a Tibetan singing bowl. It's made up of there are different sizes and thickness, and they are hand beaten, and it's an alloy made basically brass, and then there are other metals also, seven metals of silver, mercury, tin, uh, gold also. So and then they are hand beaten, and when you strike them, there's a resonance to it, and there's a frequency. Each bowl is made of different frequency sizes. So larger the size, the lower the frequency. So they work on your lower body, and smaller, thinner the bowls, the higher pitched, more for your upper body, brain. Uh, so so that's how they work. You see the resonance very much like a temple bell. The principle that it works on is you not only sound is basically vibrations, like how you throw a pebble in the water and how there are rings around it. Very much like that, the sound vibrations are like waves, and so they're pressure waves. And when when they fall on your inner ear, there's a tympanic membrane that vibrates, and then that stimulates your nerve here, and that goes to the brain. That's when you hear sounds, but not only through the ear, it also the whole body cells also absorb
The
these
sound.
sounds, and they start to vibrate. And then each an organ has its own frequency at which it vibrates. Everything vibrates, right? in our body, everything in this universe. And if we break it down, if it, like quantum physics says, everything vibrates. And that it went to a cell also, the electrons and all the components in the cell, they're all vibrating. So basically that this is what it does, that your cells and tissues, they start to align with these waves and frequencies, and they what they call entrain. Like it's very much like when you have two pendulums, they are swinging at different frequencies, but when you bring them close together, slowly they start synchronizing and start to swing together. So that is something what happens in your body also, very much like an orchestra, how each instrument has its own frequency and a role in an orchestra, and how that's what sounds harmonious. And if something is out of tune, that sounds like a screech or something that hurts your ears. So something similar happens in your body when things go out of tune.
So that it soothes
That's the
your particular organ.
yes.
That is what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes. So we particularly work on that organ. And when we do group sessions, we are
Mm.
generally working on the energy, general energy of everybody.
So, what does a typical session of sound therapy look like?
So group sessions generally sound therapy is done in a lying down position, and the head is towards us, and we play the different bowls. Basically, for deep relaxation, we have a script. We can work on a script, and then as we are, we take them through very much like your shavasana and the yog nidra, very much like that. We do that along with the sound vibrations.
Okay.
The
That is for
thoughts
group
review.
meditation, and if somebody comes to you for some, say, chronic pain, of course, this will not heal cancer. Correct. This is just for
Yeah, it will not heal cancer, but it will definitely it becomes like a complementary to because it as I the waves, the brain waves. So when you're very hyper, very anxious, your brain waves tend to be as in the beta wave category, and healing does not take place. That it's all associated with your sympathetic nervous. We have two kind of nervous systems: the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Sympathetic is more of uh, fear and run, you know, from fear, and the parasympathetic is more rest and digest. Sometimes you need a balance of both. So, but we are basically in a stressed out situation, and we're always sympathetic overdrive, and we rarely get to be in the parasympathetic nervous system. Rarely gets the upper hand because we're always stressed, and so the cortisol production increases, and a whole lot of things. The heart rate goes up, and that affects your heart and all the diseases that happen. Whereas when we stimulate the vagus nerve, so that's another thing, is that you stimulate the vagus nerve which is close to the ear here, and that stimulates the parasympathetic. So your heart rate goes down, blood pressure goes down, your thought patterns also go down. So you're in a more restful, relaxed state. Your digestion improves. So that is the whole idea, and that's how it works. So it will work in any situation. So even cancer,
it will
for
help
the
to cope
therapy
with the issue better,
to
is
cope
what we are
with the
saying.
issue,
Yeah.
or even the therapy or the chemotherapy to work better, this
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
definitely work better.
My
Yes.
question to you was actually, what would a typical session look like if somebody comes to you for, say, joint pain, and what session would you give that person?
So we would first do a general deep relaxation. So relax them so that their vagus nerve the parasympathetic nervous system is activated. So they are more open to receiving the treatment. And then we work with specific bowls, work around that area, over that area. And we use water as a medium also. So we fill the bowl with water. Water, sound waves travel very fast, almost double in water, because basically I specialize in sonography, and we use sound waves, very high frequency sound waves. So they travel very fast through water, and that is the principle also, that the submarines, that's how in fact sonography as a diagnostic modality was invented by submarine technology. When they were submarines wanted to strike something or see something, that's how it was. It was a sound, high frequency sound waves. Basically, that's from that it came, and the imaging, and when as the computers improved, so it's everything is so interconnected, I find, especially in my field. So I don't find any that okay, this is a different field and that is a different field. I think I feel everything is integrated in
I
it.
am a follower of Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankarji, Sri Ravi Shankarji,
Okay.
and
Okay. Yeah.
he has. I've heard him say many a times that keep a glass of water near you when you are chanting or meditating. Take a sip of that,
Yes.
keep it next to you, and then
Yes.
drink it later.
Yes.
Drink that water because the energy that
Yeah.
you have created goes in that water, and then the sound like
Absolutely.
om sound that
Absolutely. I don't.
you're
Absolutely.
chanting it the sound that
That's why we use water,
mm,
and you see beautiful pattern.
mm,
So I don't know if you've heard of this experiment by a Japanese scientist, Emoto. Molecule, he froze the water, and before that he collect he different containers. So water from the, say, sewage area, normal regular water, and he started treating the water with different music, playing different music, like classical music. And then one container of water used, I hate you, angry words. And one water was from a sewage area. And then he froze those molecules, he froze that water and used those molecules. And he studied them under the electron microscope. And there were amazing pattern in the molecules, very much like a geometrical, beautiful pattern. The water molecule that was treated with, abusive language and I hate you, angry words, had a very bizarre, ugly pattern. And the sewage water also very bizarre, ugly pattern. But the water that was where classical Beethoven music was played, showed beautiful pattern. And the water container where he used words of love had a very beautiful pattern. So that's
it
shows
harmonized
us
it
how water, when we are made of 70% water.
water
So yeah,
very
we are 70%
yes
majority of
body
our
is water
constituent
yes
element is water.
water in which cases do you think it really makes a difference in your experience like you have given sound therapy to so many so where
So
did
I
you
basically,
particularly see that it is very effective
there was one patient who had been a chronic smoker for many, many years, and because of that, the arteries to his legs had become very hardened and blocked, and the blood supply to his toes had stopped, and they had become black. And he was in a lot of pain because of that, and the medicines were really not helping him much. And he was also diabetic. So he came to us, he was very desperate. And in 10 sessions, we saw that the pain reduced by 70%, and then the color came back. And even
that's
the
awesome
Doppler test that we do for the blood flow study, before the sound healing sessions and after the sound healing sessions, there was a huge difference. And there's
that's
also
wonderful
in another pregnant lady where this is another case, again relating to the flow, because the blood flow to the baby was very less. It's in her third trimester, in her, say, in the seventh or the eighth month. So after doing the sound healing, the blood flow improved, and because of the blood flow which had reduced, the baby's growth had was retarded. The growth had also slowed down. That also improved. The weight
mm
of the just improve.
mm
So I find that with sound healing, there is a difference in the blood circulation. So
mm.
that definitely improves. So that, because I do the sonography and the Doppler test, I see the improvement. in Europe also, they use sound healing with the bowls in an ICU setup, and like it's a part of the treatment, uh, not only for very sick patients but also for patients in coma, patients who have paralysis, and they find a lot of differences, and Parkinsonism also.
Mm.
Because
Okay.
I see a lot of my colleagues who share their success stories, so that's how I know.
So there are a lot of areas in which sound therapy can actually help.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
Like you said before, that uh, Japanese scientist has done some with water. In the same way, there
Experiment
has
on
been
water,
some. Yes, some. There has been some experiment. I remember, reading about it on plants also.
on plants also.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. They stop growing when you use them, and then they just flourish
Yes. Yes.
when you use words of love and encouragement and positive words.
Yeah.
So
Which goes to show, I think, that what we hear sound in terms of not only sound therapy, maybe whatever music, whatever we, it makes a lot of difference it to our body, to our mind. So that is
absolutely,
how sound
absolutely,
therapy works, isn't it? Because
absolutely,
है ना?
absolutely. Agree
Because
100%.
yeah, because when it makes a difference to plants, obviously it's a living organisms, and so are we. So
So are
sound
we?
therapy is going to help us.
Yes,
It's an
definitely.
obvious actually thing, but yeah, people are still very skeptical about these kinds of
Still very skeptical about it.
yes,
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 especially medical fraternity,
yes.
our medical, some of
Mm.
us. Yes.
I am personally a great believer of alternate medicines. I have been for doing taking Ayurvedic
Yes,
medicine
yes, yes,
also.
yes. Me too.
And
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Actually,
And
I just
homeopathy,
went.
I am still taking homeopathy. So I do
Yes, yes,
believe in all this science, you know.
absolutely. Me too. I think there should be an integrated, holistic approach, and Ayurveda has been around for more than 5,000 years, and allopathy say only 200 years. So it's a
Correct.
huge.
That's a huge
So I
difference.
spent 10 days in an Ayurvedic hospital in Kerala,
Hmm.
doing the Panchakarma. So I am also I'm a believer.
I,
Whatever helps,
I
whatever
was
helps.
diagnosed with Fuchs dystrophy. Okay, in the eyes where the cell count, your corneal cell count starts degenerating on its
Okay.
yeah. So it was increasing every time, and there is no medicine for it in allopathy. And I in Kerala, like where you were mentioning just now,
Yes.
I consulted a doctor who specializes only in treating eye. Uh,
I know this. I know about this place.
yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
So and
In fact, Narendra
it
Modi
stopped.
mentioned this.
Hmm.
Isn't it? Narendra Modi mentioned this, and he referred an African president or his daughter to this place, and he mentioned that my daughter got treated with Ayurveda, the eye.
What would you say to someone who is curious about sound healing and wants to try it for the first time? What would you say to that person?
Somebody who wants to experience either do a group meditation session or a one-on-one session where we do a complete what we call a sound bath, where we work on the entire body, where there we have a very big bowl where they stand in that, and then we strike the bowl around so the whole body gets
The
the vibrations,
vibrations.
and that actually works very well with post-traumatic stress disorders. And then we do work on the reflexology centers in their fingers, the hands, and the feet. And then we work on the brain, then we work on the aura cleansing, and then we work with the chakra bowls, your general alignments. It's a good 1 hour, like a whole sound massage and
Mhm.
sound bath. And so that I would really advise, recommend to people that they try that out. In a group session, there are many people, so you don't get that benefit when the bowls are close to you. You get it's very, very powerful. And another thing that works very well, and now a lot of people are doing, is aqua therapy. You float in the water, and then you play the bowls while they are floating in the water. So so you are 70% water, you are in water, and the bowls are being played in the water. So that also works
Must be
beautifully and
working.
produces
Yes.
another level of relaxation, people say that.
Where do you see the future of sound healing?
Yeah, there is, I think I see this will become a part of therapy. I see a lot of a role of this in paralytic patients also abroad, especially Europe. They are using it a lot. And in fact, in the US, there's an oncologist who uses this on his cancer patients. And he was taught this by his own patient who was a Tibetan man
Okay.
who showed him this. So I have all these pictures and references and everything with this oncologist who works, and he also works with voice therapy. That is another thing where Nad Anusandana is something which I also now I've just learned, and how based on our classical Indian classical music, how the swaras the can work with each chakras, and certain rags can help you and align your whole system and on different conditions. And I think the sky is the limit. Another aspect, another field where this will work wonders is autism. Some of my colleagues have had very good experience with children with ADHD. It calms them down.
Mm.
With autistic spectrum disorders, with children, it works wonderfully. So in my practice, I don't come across children that much. I see women a lot. So I have been working on women a lot more uh, than say men, though we do get pain management and all, quite a few. But children, there's a big scope. Pregnant women I worked on, so they also are, though we need to, it takes a while to spread this around. So, but it's slowly catching up, I think.
I wish you.
And we do it with yoga, pranayam. So we have a yoga person, yogacharya, who's also specialized in Garbha Sanskar mantra. So we work together. So I try and collaborate with yoga, pranayam, and we've also done with Tai Chi, and we've done a lot of workshops on inner child, because you go deep into your subconscious, and then when we we guide them to their inner child traumas, whichever they face, to bring their palm pet to then release them. So I think the applications are sky's the limit, I feel. And for mental disorders, for depression,
Thank you so
a lot
much.
of scope.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you
There is
so
a lot
much,
of
Dr. Geeta, for
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah
Thank you
sharing
for having me.
sharing this remarkable journey and giving us an insight into sound therapy. I'm sure many people will learn something today from your sharings, and hopefully sound therapy will grow more and people will realize that it does help. So good
Yes,
luck.
it definitely does help as complementary to other
Other way.
therapies.
Yes.
On its own, also it works very well. But your attitude and how receptive you are also makes a big difference.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was wonderful.
If today's episode has given you some insights and helped you in any way, do not forget to like, comment, share. And yes, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for listening to Warrior Voices with Sangita.